So in honor of Connor McDavid reaching 1,000 points in the National Hockey League at only 27 years of age, we are going to go ahead and put a team together of all the players who are in NHL 25 that have over 1,000 points in the NHL, and we are going to see if this team can come together and win a Stanley Cup. Now, this team obviously is filled of players who have over 1,000 points in their National Hockey League careers. Starting on that first line, we got Gretzky, McDavid, and Jagr. Obviously, Connor being the newest one here. Our second line will have Crosby, Lemieux, and Brett Hull, followed by Gordie Howe, Joe Sakic, and Mark Messier. And then we got Ovi, Brian Trottier, and Teemu Selanne on that fourth line. And on D, I did find 6 defensemen who have over 1,000 points in their career in Ray Bourque, Nick Lidstrom, Paul Coffey, Al McGinnis, Larry Murphy, and of course, Phil Housley. And just like we did the team of defensemen, we gave them pretty shitty goaltenders, so I'm going to do the same here. We got Forgiev as our starter and Joseph Woll as our backup, just to balance things out a little bit, considering this roster is very, very good. I don't want them to be overpowered and just win every single hockey game. I want it to be a little bit of a struggle, so they're not going to have the greatest goaltenders that are available to them. We have Connor McDavid as our captain. Mario Lemieux will be an assistant, as well as the great one, Wayne Gretzky, so that is a damn good leadership core. I would imagine that this team can go on and win a Stanley Cup. On paper, they're looking really good, probably the best in the league. We're starting out 8-1 to the season, so 9-2. And the only thing really holding them back would be their solid, or should I say not so solid, goaltending in Forgiev, and of course the bum Woll, who cannot stay healthy. But the good news is for Joseph Woll, injuries are off in this game. He is going to be the backup. 25-3-1, that is a damn good start to the season. Now at the end of the season, the BBC Thunder, we would do very, very well. 66 wins, 12 regulation losses, 4 in overtime for 136 points at the top of the league, just like we should be, followed by the Rangers, who are clearly worse than us. Ottawa was up there. We got Dallas and Edmonton all in the top 5. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Sabres, only 31 wins. What were you really expecting? Connor McDavid was by far our best player. He had 45 goals, 121 points. Gretzky had 112. Crosby was up there with 93. We know these guys have scored a lot throughout their careers, so they should theoretically be a very high-scoring team, with guys like Gordie Howe, Mark Messier, Jaromir Jagr putting up 76 points. Joe Sakic chipped in. And then for Forgiev, he had a 917 with 5 shutouts and 33 wins. That's kind of insane. I guess now that you put an actual competent defense core in front of him, he's probably going to do a lot better. 33-6-2. He was great. Not even close to being a problem for this team. Connor McDavid will have the most points at 121 in the entire league. Wayne Gretzky was up there. McKinnon had a hell of a season, as well as Draisaitl. Pasternak had 102. Matthews 101. On the goal side, we had the dog leading with 59 tucks on the season. Connor Bedard had 57. He's got like 3 in real life right now. What is going on with Bedsy? Why is he not producing? Why is he not showing up? He's a sophomore player. He's a generational talent, supposedly, and he's not really been performing like one. We got Leon up here with 56. Gretzky had 55. Matthews 53, and that is all she wrote for the 50 goal scorers. For goalies, Vasilevsky will have the most wins at 43 and the most shutouts. We'll go to Igor with 9, also alongside a 925 save percentage. He was the best starter in the entire league, but Georgiev with a 917 was not far behind him. And now in the first round of the postseason, we get somewhat of an easier matchup in the Chicago Blackhawks. We do got to face Vegas or Edmonton in the second round, so it should get a lot tougher then. But for right now, I don't really consider them a playoff team. We should be able to absolutely steamroll them. This should be a very quick series for the BBC Thunder. We should be able to win 4 straight, sweep their asses, head off to round number 2, and that is exactly what we did. Not really competitive whatsoever, and nor should it, as we move on to face the Oilers now, so the matchups are getting a little bit tougher. Although right now we are buzzing, haven't lost a single postseason game yet. We're up 3-0 over the Oilers, and now we're up 3-1. So they did take game number 4, which, I wasn't surprised that Edmonton won. Oh no, hold up, boys. We are in a game 6 scenario right now, and we win it. Thank God we bring it home, off to the conference finals. In this simulation, they can sometimes turn up the heat and just turn into an absolute juggernaut of a team, and right now they are not doing so. They're down 3-1 to the BBC Thunder. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can finish off Colorado here in game 5. We got a 4-2 lead in the third period, so I'm hoping that we do hold on to that, outshooting them 32-19. There we go. Gretzky and Brian Trottier give us both an insurance marker, and it is now a 6-2 hockey game. 6-3, Mikko Rantanen on Joseph Woll. Why is Woll in the net right now? Does not matter, as the BBC Thunder dominate Colorado in 5 games, and we are headed off to the Stanley Cup Finals. And now in the finals, a bit of an interesting matchup as we have the Washington Capitals. Not a team that I really see here too often. We win game 1, 9-1. Absolutely put a clinic on them. 5-0 game 2 win. We win game 3 as well, and now we're on the verge of sweeping the Capitals in the Stanley Cup Finals. I'll be real, I'm honestly very shocked that they made the Cup Finals. They don't usually do it in this game, and right now they're getting dominated, down 3-1, down 4-1 as Brett Hull will score literally right away in this third period. Jaromir Jagr gives us a 5-1 lead, and this is one of the more easier playoff runs by any of my created teams. We were dominant through and through. Really not even challenged the entire postseason run. So we are about a minute away from raising the Stanley Cup here in Washington. The only bad news is we didn't get to do it back in British Columbia, but I guess we'll have to save that for next season, as the Stanley Cup is about to get ready to be passed to the BBC Thunder, the beautiful British Columbia Thunder. Coming into this, I knew this team was going to be very good. I did not think they were just going to breeze their way to a Stanley Cup, but if you take a look at our roster, I mean, all these players, a lot of them being legends, considering there's not too many active 1,000-point scorers in the NHL right now that are still a high enough overall to create an awesome team like this. So I went out, I got a bunch of legends, and we got some younger players too, like Crosby and McDavid. I think McDavid's the youngest here by far. He's only 27 years old, which is crazy to think. But we pretty much dominated our way to a Stanley Cup, a 60-win team. I think we only lost like maybe 3 games the entire playoff run. Didn't lose a single one in the Stanley Cup Finals, as Ovechkin on the Capitals is going to be sad. But luckily, we do have Ovi on the BBC Thunder, so he's going to get to raise a Stanley Cup regardless, as the BBC Thunder have done it, going all the way in their very first season as a team, winning the Stanley Cup, sweeping the Washington Capitals, even with a goalie like Joseph Woll in the net or Georgiev. Both of them not being that great. We still got carried by our players. We also had a great decor also. Nick Lidstrom was there, Paul Coffey, Phil Housley, and up front we got the big guns in Lemieux, Crosby, McDavid, Joe Sakic, and there it is, the great one winning the Conn Smythe Trophy. He had 10 goals and 30 points in the postseason, was our best player, and he will get that trophy in season number 1. The fans are absolutely silent here in Washington. I don't even know the arena name. Maybe it's the Verizon Center. It used to be that, I think so, but the Capitals fans are not too happy to see the Stanley Cup being raised for the BBC Thunder, as Connor McDavid will raise it as the team's captain. And now let's see how many we can win in a row. I have a feeling we could go on a little bit of a run here and have a mini dynasty with the BBC Thunder. I'm shooting for at least back-to-back, but definitely 3 in a row. And then after that, we can probably reevaluate. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. There is a lot of work left to do. I mean, they call him the Great One for a reason. He had 10 goals, 30 points in the postseason. By far our best player. McDavid chipped in, as well as Lemieux, both having 24. Crosby had 21. Jaromir Jagr was up there. And what about our goaltenders here? Joseph Woll was in fact our starter for the entire postseason. Even though Georgiev was pretty much our starter in the regular season, he would rock a .923, 1 shutout, and a 16-3 record. Just absolutely dominating stats by this team. Connor McDavid will win the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross and Hart Trophy. McKinnon the Maurice Richard. Nick Lidstrom will win the Norris. Gretzky the Conn Smythe. Igor the Vezina. And Barkov the Selke. After a very dominating season, it is now time to see if we can do it again. Win another Stanley Cup and prove to everybody that if you don't have 1,000 points, you should not be allowed in the Hockey Hall of Fame. That is usually the standard anyways, but a 9-0 start, 11-0, I'm happy as can be. This team full of over 1,000 points each are absolutely dominant. Also, I would love to point out how Wayne Gretzky put up 1,000 points by age 23, just absolutely bonkers to even think about. Yet again, the BBC Thunder are even better somehow this season, 75-5-2, 152 points. Maybe this is what I should have done for building the greatest team of all time. I mean, goddamn, they're basically on par. The easiest first season ever. scoring now in the second season over 5.5 goals per game almost, and 75 wins. Dallas was not even remotely close. Tampa Bay was up here, Colorado and Edmonton, but we all know who is the best, and we all know who's the worst as well in the Calgary Flames. Gretzky had a great one yet again, 52 goals, 127 points. McDavid had 125, Lemieux 109. I mean, Mark Messier had 92, Crosby had 90, so we had a lot of offense on this team, and we definitely showed it. Goalie-wise, Joseph Woll was somehow our starter, 42 wins, only 2 losses, 1 in overtime, 3 shutouts, and a .911 save percentage. Meanwhile, Georgiev, I mean, he had a great record, but not really the greatest stats, although he did have 2 shutouts, only a .900 save percentage, which is pretty low, especially for being on as good of a team as he is on. Gretzky will have the most points in the league, and McDavid came in second. The other McDavid on Edmonton was third with 122. Lemieux had a great season. Jason Robertson chipped in. He's kind of been quiet ever since he put up, I believe it was 2 years ago, a great 108 points. Damir had 50 goals as well. He's been quiet ever since then. Aho was decent. Nikita Kucherov was good. Austin Matthews had a 50-goal year, but nobody had more goals than Wayne Gretzky at 52. Lemieux had 51, and Austin Matthews was the only other 50-goal scorer in the entire league. Vasi, yet again, will have the most wins in the league, this time at 43. Joseph Woll had 42, Ottinger 41, and on the shutout side, we got Stuart Foreskin Skinner with 9 on the season. What an absolute beast of a goalie, man. Only a .903 save percentage, but give me those 9 shutouts. And here we go. We get a somewhat of an easy matchup yet again in the first round against the Utah Hockey Club. Never even been to the postseason, so we definitely hold an advantage there. And hopefully it can be the start of our back-to-back titles. I mean, Utah could theoretically pose some challenges to this team, but we are really top and bottom, just a much better hockey club than them. And right now it is showing it as we are up 3-1 over Utah, trying to finish them off. And there we do. A quick gentleman's sweep, a 5-game series, not much of an issue there as we again move on to round number 2 to face the Edmonton Oilers, who do have a much better squad than Utah, although we kind of steamrolled them last year. And wait, 8-6 loss in game 3. Okay, they're trying to make it a series right now, but yet again up 3-1 over Edmonton. And another 5-game gentleman's sweep as we are cruising through the postseason. Got Dallas in the conference finals, another great team who usually does simulate well. I see them make a lot of Stanley Cup finals appearances. Right now, we split the first 2 games. Win game 3, so we take a 2-1 series lead, 3-1 series lead, and it is looking like back-to-back-to-back gentlemen sweeps here in the Western Conference. Heading into oh, wait a minute. 4 goals in a row by Dallas. They take the lead in the third period. Jamie Benn gives them an insurance marker as they're trying to force a game 6. BBC, obviously, we're down by 2 in the third period. We got to get on the offense right now. 32 shots to 26 is not going to cut it, as somehow we are not able to beat Jake Ottinger, and the Dallas Stars will in fact force a game 6. Although Lemieux, we got close, 2 minutes left in the game. Big game 6 in Dallas. Their home fans are going crazy, and they give up 4 in the first period. They get back to within 2, which is good. They're in striking range, but man, how disappointing. Backs up against the wall. You give up 4 goals in the first period, Dallas. 7 minutes left to go here in the third period. It does not look like the Stars want to be here whatsoever. All right, here we are in Dallas trying to close out the Stars in 6 games. We've got about 2 minutes left to go. A 2-goal lead for us, obviously. Crosby coming down the wing. Sid over to Brett Hall, shooting it. A great save by Ottinger. Full pressure right away as BBC are just dominating the Stars throughout this entire series. And there it is. Paul Coffey will snipe it from the blue line and give us a 3-goal advantage. What a bomb of a shot as the Stars fans are starting to boo now as their team is down 3 goals late in the third period. The comeback does not look like it's going to happen. McDavid, great shot on net. We just got to wind down the clock at this point, honestly, and then get ready for the Stanley Cup Finals as we try to go back-to-back. But right now, I mean, how could I not be happy with our postseason run? Every single series besides this one went in 5 games. We've controlled every single series we've been in, been up 3-1 in all of them as well. And the BBC Thunder right now are turning into the greatest team of all time before your very eyes. McDavid coming in over to Ray Bourque, shooting, low shot on net. Gretzky gets the rebound. Back to Lidstrom, tip in front. BBC is going hard till the end, to the final whistle. They're trying to put up some points here in the postseason as we are headed back to the Stanley Cup Finals for back-to-back years. Forgiev, it does not matter, brother. You are now one of the best goaltenders in the league, that you have a good team in front of you. And we are headed back to the finals. And now in the finals, maybe our toughest matchup so far in the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are sneaky good in the simulation, even without Stammer. We got Gensel, Kucherov, of course, Hedman, Vasi. They are very capable of stealing this series over a much better BBC team. Although I say that, and then we win the first 3 games with literal ease. I mean, 3-1, what was the other one? 5-1 and 5-4 in overtime. So we've been dominant so far. Here we are in Game 4. I'm kind of hoping we lose Game 4 so we can raise the Stanley Cup on home ice. And right now we're trailing in the third period, 1-0 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Never mind, Jaromir Jagr ties the game up, and Wayne Gretzky gives us the lead, baby. 3-1 lead now. Mark Messier gets a short-handed goal as the Lightning are falling apart in Game 4. They just cannot withstand this offense. Gordie Howe, 4-1 lead, and that is pretty much all she wrote. For the second season in a row, the BBC Thunder will go on and win the Stanley Cup as we swept the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Cup Finals. I thought they were going to be a challenge, but they really were not, if we're being honest. 4 straight games of absolute domination, and we are your back-to-back Stanley Cup winners. With a guy like Joseph Woll and Alexander Forgiev in the goal, we still somehow get it done. As Gretzky for back-to-back seasons will take home the Conn Smythe, this time had 10 goals and 26 points. Again, he's the great one for a reason, the greatest of all time, and back-to-back Conn Smythe trophies is definitely well-deserved for Wayner, as we now await Connor McDavid to come raise the Stanley Cup for the second season in a row, this time in Tampa Bay. Where were we last year? In Washington. So hopefully next season we can get a home win in front of our own fans. I even threw on the home jerseys in case we didn't win one at home this entire video, because I wanted to see one of the great PHL teams that you guys will be. I mean, you guys are going to see it shortly. The PHL will be back by December, and I cannot wait. Connor McDavid would actually have more goals and the same amount of points as Wayne Gretzky, but not take home the Conn Smythe Trophy. Jagr was up there with 24. Joe Sakic had 19. Lemieux 18 and 11 goals. And Georgiev was our starter. He had 3 shutouts and a .925 save percentage, so he was very, very good. McDavid will take home the Lindsay, Wayne Gretzky, the Maurice Richard, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Cale Makar wins the Norris. We got Gretzky, the Conn Smythe, Vasi, the Vezina, and yet again, Alexander Barkov, the Selke. Now in the third season, we got BBC winning 66 games, only losing 10 in regulation, 6 in overtime, 138 points. Toronto, I mean, they were somewhat close. They had 53 wins. Colorado was up here, Edmonton, as well as Dallas. And at the bottom, the Montreal Canadiens, who right now are going through the middle of a rebuild, so you cannot really blame them. Gretzky, again, was our leading scorer, 52 goals, 104 points. McDavid had 104. Lemieux was up there. Crosby with 31 goals and 86 points. Jagr chipped in where he had to. And if we take a look at our goaltenders, Woll was our primary starter. He started over 50 games in the regular season, went 41, 4, and 5, 6 shutouts, alongside a .913 save percentage. McDavid will have the most points in the league at 107, followed by Robertson's 106. McKinnon was up there, as well as Gretzky and our McDavid. On the goal side, we got Austin Matthews having the most at 56, alongside McKinnon with 54, Gretzky's 52, and Jason Robertson, who had 49. Also, shout out Stammer. I mean, in real life, he is struggling, but right now, 48 goals at a 91 overall. I'm definitely going to have to lower that, considering how bad he's been this season. Anthony Stolarz with the most wins at 45, and he will also have the most shutouts at 9, alongside a .916 save percentage. More than likely going to win the Vezina unless it is rigged. And we are going to play the Vegas LTIR Cheaters in round number 1. So that means Mark Stone will be back for the first game of the series, even though he's probably missed the last 2 to 3 weeks of the regular season. This is one of the more tougher matchups I'd say we have, but then again, we might steamroll them and beat them in 5 games like we do with pretty much every other team in the NHL, and that is exactly what happened. We are getting some new matchups. Now we play Vancouver in the second round of the postseason, a team we have not played yet in the video, but right now it's not going well for Vancouver, as they are going to get swept in round number 2, 4 straight games. And we move on to meet the Stars yet again. Dallas seems like the team that if I play in the Western Conference, I'm going to have to play in the conference final pretty much every single year. And usually I do tend to beat them. This time in 5 games, I wasn't really worried at all. We started out 3-0 and just clearly are the best team in the league. We faced New Jersey in the finals, a young team, but a very good team also. A bit of a closer series. I mean, we are only leading 3-2. It was tied up at 2 apiece. I really thought we were going to win it on home ice, but yet again, we are in New Jersey for Game 6 to see if we can win the Cup and close out this series. Heading into the third, it's all knotted up at 1 apiece, so we get a tight game. New Jersey so far is giving us a run for our money, more than any other team has this entire length of the video. Shots are 37-26, so we are definitely outplaying them. Low scoring game though right now. 5-4 power play for New Jersey. They can't get anything to go on it. And there we go, late in the third period, Connor McDavid will give us the lead with 1:38 remaining. I had to hop in as soon as I saw McDavid score that last second goal. Let's see if we can close the show here. Jágr coming in. Great shot and a great save by Markstrom. 56 seconds left in this game. We got a 1-goal lead, so I don't want to have... I'll leave it on conservative. I don't want a full forecheck just in case we give up a goal. Right now, though, we are absolutely dominating the Devils. Jágr to Gretzky in the middle, and no energy on Markstrom. Does not matter. He still covers that puck up. Also, all these videos where I create a team and put a bunch of players on them, it's a good showcase for the PHL because that's the only teams I have been using. So you guys get to see their jerseys early. You get to see what their arenas look like before we even do the full PHL video that will be coming in December. Do not worry, I've had it planned for a very long time. McDavid, where are you going? Over to Jágr, shooting, and Jaromir Jágr will find the back of the net, his 8th of the playoff run, as the BBC Thunder are dominant yet again. 3 Stanley Cups in a row for the BBC Thunder, a thing not a lot of teams have done over the course of the National Hockey League history, but the beautiful British Columbia Thunder get it done with a bunch of legends and players that have over 1,000 points in their NHL careers. Even giving them pretty bad goaltenders, we still dominated the entire simulation. 3 cups in a row. I guess New Jersey gave us our best challenge, going 2-2 in the first 4 games, but again we pull through. Gretzky, another Conn Smythe, 12 goals, 33 points, and 20 hits, as he's been solid. Maybe our best player this entire sim, a little better than McDavid. He's led us in the regular season, won every single Conn Smythe, so how could you not give it to the guy? But there it is in the Prudential Center in New Jersey. The Stanley Cup is awaiting the most talented, most advanced hockey player ever, my glorious king, and Connor McDavid, the captain of this team, as he will raise it for a 3rd season in a row. $1 million or dinner with Connor McDavid. What would you choose? Of course, Gretzky will have the most points on our team in the postseason at 33, McDavid at 31, but more goals at 13 goals. Lemieux chipped in where he had to, as well as Jaromir Jágr and Mark Messier. Jason Robertson will take home the Ted Lindsay and Hart Trophy. Art Ross to McDavid, Matthews the Maurice Richard, Makar will win the Norris, Gretzky the Conn Smythe, Stolarz the Vezina, and again, Sasha Barkov the Selke. That is going to do it for this video, putting a team together that consists of only players who have scored over 1,000 points in their career. Obviously, McDavid being the newest, so this video basically is an honor for him. Also, the 4th fastest in NHL history, the 4th youngest at 27. He's going to go down as one of the best players of all time, and I'm just happy to be able to watch his entire career unfold. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you leave some support on it. I would like to say thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.